Thank you for tuning into the Art of Grace podcast, where God is creating a better you. I'm your host, Farah. Today's special guest is none other than my dear friend, Zipporah Reddy-Christian of Prime Care Consulting. Go grab a seat and get comfortable as we have some amazing information to unpack. You are listening to part 1 of The Art of Being Intentional. Let's listen in. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Art of Grace, where God is creating a better you. I'm your number one host, your one grace girl, Farah, and I am so excited to have my special guest with me today. Some of you who are in our networking circle might recognize her, Mrs. Zipporah Reddy-Christian. I'm so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much, Minister Farah, for this opportunity.
No, thank you. Please. It has taken us weeks to get here. Months, right? I mean, we have been wanting to record this episode for you all because Zipporah made such an impression on me when I met her, and such a blessing, right? So, we have this little bit of time and space to connect with someone. And the funny thing about it is that, you represent us when it comes to the elevator pitch. And it wasn't your elevator pitch that connected me with you. It was just you.
Thank you.
Just who you are, reading the room, that feeling of, that connectiveness and that, that community. I don't know, it's just something about you that connected me with you. And, some people, I don't just ask to do an episode just like that. I think I might have met her a few times. I can count on one hand. I said, I've got to have her online with me.
Thank you.
And so I'm so happy that you said yes.
Absolutely.
I thank you so much for your yes.
I felt like our energy.
That's what I was looking for.
The energy.
That was it.
It matched. It's an alignment, and this is the time.
This is the time.
So,
and that's the thing. I just said, you know what? It took me months to get her here, right? But it was the timing of it all, right? For us to get together and for us to do this. And so I'm so excited to have her. I'm going to read her bio, but I have something to add to it because she's been here with me for a couple of hours already. And she has blessed my life so much. Her and her sister, you can't see her right now. She's sitting behind the camera. She's our executive producer for today, Miss Sheba, so you can't see her. But they came and they shared life with me today already. So I've already had a podcast episode, a personal one. So I know that you all are going to be blessed today by, Mrs. Zipporah. So Mrs. Zipporah Reddy-Christian is a pharmacy technician educator for the Osceola County School District of Gateway High School. As a nationally certified and Florida registered pharmacy technician, she is an advocate for the profession of pharmacy and served as a member of the Professional Affairs Council for the Florida Pharmacy Association and of the Council of Technician Affairs for Florida Society of Health Systems Pharmacists. Zipporah is a multiple award winner as FPA's 2012 Technician of the Year, 2015 FSHP Pharmacy Technician of the Year, and the Next Generation Pharmacist Technician 2016 winner. So now she doesn't look at age over any of these years, okay, right? So I'm just blown away by that right there. Zipporah has an active role mentoring, speaking, and volunteering as a member of various pharmacy technician program advisory committees. She also served on the Kaiser University Business Administration Advisory Board. Zipporah is an executive coach, providing coaching in a professional and personal development. She has experience in consulting, hosting events, creating professional development plans, and curating vision board parties to lead participants in goal achievement, which we talked about that right before we started recording, and I'm going to definitely get with her on that because I need to stay consistent, and vision boards are a big part of that journey. Zipporah is passionate about helping people elevate their highest potential and improve their lifestyles. In addition to being a career woman, she is a proud wife and mother and often enjoys spending time with her family, traveling and learning of new places in Orange County. And I'm going to say internationally. I'm going to add that to it, right?
I accept it and I receive it.
I know International. So please welcome with me my guest today, Mrs. Zipporah Darby.
Hi, everyone. Minister Farah, I'm so excited to be here. Yes. Super excited to get into this podcast and talking about professionalism, the vision experience, manifestation. I literally am a product of manifestation, goals, achievement. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
And I read her bio to you all just now, but in spending this time with her and her sister this afternoon, the one thing that I feel like I've seen is strength. It just sums up strength to me because everything that you've been doing up to this point and what you're going to do takes great strength.
Such a compliment. Thank you. Strength and with the strength comes courage.
Yes.
Sometimes when we start off with things, before we even begin, it's building up the courage to follow through.
I love
and
that.
so you're seeing the follow through.
Yes.
The continuous follow through. Life is a journey.
Yes.
This is not an overnight success. You are talking about days, months, years of development, of continuous improvement, and I'm continuing to improve.
Yes.
There are things I'm still working on, goal achievement, and so wherever you are at your race, whether you're at the start, in the middle, feel like you finished and you have nothing left in the tank, there is still something. You have to continue to show up and have the courage to develop, to improve, to explore, because life is really, like I said, it's a journey.
I love it.
And I'm continuing to see what life has to offer. I'm learning. I have learned some things. I'm able to teach some things. I know we're going to talk about teaching.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And I'm a student of life. So I don't feel like I'm full. I'm continuously growing.
I am so happy that she said that, right? Because, hearing us talk about this, I've summed up her bio into just a small frame of like less than 30 seconds, right? But she's honest in saying that it takes time. So for people who want it to happen overnight, for you to want it to just step into our shoes and say, I want to do what they're doing, but it's the time that it takes, the effort that it takes, the strength that it takes, the courage that it takes to just step in front of these things and do them. It's not an overnight thing. So I want people who are out there who want to step into these roles and get into teaching, into consulting, and all these different things that we're doing. It takes time and it takes relationship.
It does. Connection.
Yes.
And the first connection, believe it or not, a lot of people say, oh, I may know someone, or someone knows someone else, and we get excited about titles and positions. We talked about that earlier. The very first connection that you have to make is with you.
Oh, wow.
You have to take inventory. How are you feeling?
Yes.
Do you feel like you can do it? Like that's the first. That's the first step.
I love that.
That's the first step. We get into these bubbles or these arenas and these rooms.
Yes.
And it's big energy.
It is big.
You've been to conferences. I've been to conferences, and it's like big energy. And you're
it's
like,
very big.
and sometimes even us, we can get in a room and we can feel like, am I supposed to be here?
Gosh, yes.
But you're supposed to be. Any room you walk into, you have to have that level of confidence. If I'm in a room, it's because I'm supposed to be here.
That's right.
There's somebody in here for me. There's somebody in here I'm for.
Yes.
And we just have to make the connections.
I love that.
And believe it or not, everybody is not going to be for you.
Yes, yes.
Even the smiles and the hugs and just like, I think it's nice.
Yeah.
You gotta have discernment. I'm very big on that.
I love that.
So I feel like when we first met, the alignment, the connection, it was just synergy.
It was definitely. I love that. And one thing that Zipporah shared with me earlier is that when we walk into rooms, there's a key and a lock.
Yes.
That in itself is going to be a whole nother podcast episode. Episode number 2.
Stay tuned. This is part 1.
Listen, a lock and a key, like going into a room full of people, but yet there may be one person there that can unlock something in you, and it could be something so minute, so small, within like a 10-second meeting, right?
It doesn't take long.
It doesn't take long.
Very natural, very organic.
Yes.
You don't have to force it.
Yes.
You've been somewhere and you can just feel the energy. Like, it was easy to talk to that person. It was just easy just to say hi.
Yes.
And other times you feel like you got to muster up energy, courage, to say, hi, my name is.
First of all, you got to get through people to get to that person sometimes, right?
And barriers and blockages.
Yeah. And I understand there's protection in that, at times, depending on where we are. But, we've gotten to a place where we're not even approachable.
That's the word.
We haven't made the space. Yeah.
What is our body language saying?
Yes.
As a professional development coach, I talk about body language. What is your body language saying? How is your facial expression reading?
Yes.
Some people say, well, that's just how I look. If that's your energy, that's why you're going to continue to stay where you are.
Yes.
You got to be in a position and in a space to want to grow. Do you want to grow? Do you just want to stay stagnant?
Yes.
I'm about elevation.
Yes.
Whatever that looks like for me, that's what I'm going to do. And you have to know, what does that look like for you? Does elevating means, today I'm going to do one thing differently. And that's fine. That's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
We have to take the opportunity to make small changes. Small steps leads to more progress.
Love it.
The journey to 1,000 miles begins with one step. Come on now.
I love that. So getting to you, you've been in pharmacy for many years.
Yes.
You shared with me today how you got started. I mean, it was hilarious. Hilarious.
You know, some people choose their career. Like,
oh my gosh.
I think it was a two-way street.
Yes.
I think the career chose me and I chose it.
I love that.
I knew I wanted to be in the medical field because my mom is now a retired dental hygienist.
Yes.
But I knew I was going to be in the medical community. I saw every single day.
Yes.
Growing up, my mom in scrubs with her lab coat, coming home, emptying the pockets of just no cards of business cards of people who she had met, people who I learned from an early age. Let's talk about that. Connections then.
Yeah.
I saw what it looks like. My mom was making connections, networking.
And her mom is incredible. I had an opportunity to meet her mom at one of the first networking events that I attended with Dr. Harriet. So humble. You would have never thought she was a dental hygienist. That was one, right? But, and I say that to say that when her mom wasn't a hygienist years ago, it was at a time where you didn't see many brown girls as hygienists in those positions. Because it was a high position to us as dental professionals.
Absolutely.
Like, oh my God, that's a dental hygienist. Oh my God. They were on the level as the doctors. That's how we placed them. And so to know that that's what you grew up with and that's what you had, you know, someone who connected with people, who showed you what that looked like, coming home with those business cards, making those connections.
Working with professionals in the dental industry, medical in itself, there is a level of professionalism that you have to have.
Absolutely.
There is a level of communication that you have to build, patience, confidentiality. My mother never talked personally about the patients who she saw. One time I did know, and this is only because they autographed something. I'm not going to say any names, but I grew up in the 90s. So my mom was very influential in the dental world, and she even met one of the rappers from the 69 Boys, like the rap group. And I was like, Mom, why do you have this? Like, Tootsie Roll, like, why do you have this, why do you have this poster?
Shout out to my friend Melissa, because that's your song. Tootsie Roll.
And so I'm like, why do you have this? And she's like, oh, one of the guys came and got their teeth done. I was like, and I saw her name was like, To Miss You. Oh, wow. Mom, you know them?
See, your generation wants the pictures. We just wanted the autograph. Now, where that paper ended up at, after the husband saw it, garbage. Listen, we got autographs back then. Tony Braxton, all these other people that I know I got autographs.
She met Shaq. Like, I grew up in the night. Like,
wow.
I am born and raised Orlando, Florida. Like, true native. Not saying that anyone isn't, but this is a place where people visit.
Yes.
And we live here. We get the opportunity to say we live here. People are like, you live next to Disney? Listen. Once you live here, it's like,
it's a place. It's a place here.
But I love it. It's
just like Popeyes. It's what we love it. So now her story about getting into the pharmacy field. You started out in Walmart.
Yes. So initially, one of my first jobs was McDonald's. So there, like, I'm gonna give a 30-second snippet.
Yes.
So McDonald's, I learned customer service.
Oh yes, you're gonna learn customer service.
You're gonna learn customer service working at McDonald's.
That is
okay.
So true.
They're not just giving smiles for free. You're gonna learn the customer service as well. And that's really where the skill set developed. I knew how to serve. Like growing up, me and my sister, along with my mom, would always volunteer in different places. So I knew service. So I knew anything that I was going to do was going to have to be in service. Okay. So did McDonald's for a little while. Left there, and I remember the reason why I left is because I wanted to elevate. There goes that word again. I was ready to elevate, and they only had me at the drive-through. They only had me at the drive-through, and I was like, I want to do more. And they were like, but you're so good at it. I'm like, I know, but I want to do more. And they did not move me because they wanted me in that position, and I refused
because you're directly right there. You're directly there in front of that person with that professionalism.
And I quit. And I remember coming home and I told my mom, I said, Mom, I quit. And she says, you don't have another job lined up. What are you going to do next? I was like, I don't know, but I wanted to elevate. They wasn't ready for me to grow. She was like, that's not how that works. I'm like, Mom, I was ready to grow. They wasn't ready.
They wasn't ready for me.
But CVS was ready for me. And that's where I got started in my pharmacy journey.
Really?
Yeah, because they were behind the counter and they're in their lab coats. And it just looked so professional. I was like, okay, yes, I want to do that. And I thought that pharmacy, because again, this is my first introduction to it. I thought at retail setting, they made the drug. That's what I thought. So they hired me at CVS because of my customer service skills that I developed.
Yes.
And I go on my first day and I'm like, oh, so how do y'all make the drugs? How do y'all make it? And I'm all excited. And they said, oh no, that's compounding pharmacy. This is a dispensary pharmacy. And I'm like, so this is a fake pharmacy? Like, this is not a real pharmacy? And they're like, no, it's real. It's real. We just don't make the drugs here. I was in my feelings for a good 4 hours. Like, through my shift, I was like, I thought this fake pharmacy, I thought they was making pills here. And then something beautiful happened. It was around flu season or something like that. So there was an antibiotic that needed to be mixed. And that's a form of compounding, not the actual compounding like they would do in a compounding pharmacy. But that was good enough for me. And then my love for pharmacy just started all over again.
I think it's
I've been in it ever since.
Amazing, because you don't hear about compounding pharmacies. Now I know about them because I work in the dental field and I have pets. So
they make compounds
They make compounds for pets, and so that's how I heard about that.
Yeah.
And so for you to just know that at a young age that there's something else to this, I want to see this, not just pills being pushed, or not just pills being pushed, all different types of things, but for you to even know that.
I think it was also, again, the word says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Well, during the summers, I would see my mom at the dental office, and there's this mix that you got
cements and
there's mixing going on in dental.
Mixing.
Okay,
yes it is. Listen,
so
the new ones, they have it easy because they have machines that do it for them. But we were mixing.
I saw her pour the powder and what I don't know. Dental is not my world. But she's doing the mixing, and I was like, that looks fun. So I knew there was a compounding. I knew about the word, but I'm thinking of medicine. So I know somebody has to make this pill. This is a medication. So that's what made me think, oh, okay, pharmacy, they make the pills. And I'm assuming they had, like, my brain said, there's an oven in there. Like, I'm just thinking of a whole pizza parlor. But with pills, that's what my brain was going.
You were thinking, like, huge.
I was thinking manufacturer. I was thinking, they doing all of this behind the counter. I got to work there. This is it.
Listen, you do know that you would never get nothing done throughout the day if you're doing all that in the pharmacy, right? So that's incredible that you've been thinking on that level at a young age. And so you've now stuck with pharmacy for quite a while.
I have, and it has been one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Wow.
It chose me and I chose it. Pharmacy allows me to be creative because no day is ever the same. I love working with people. I'm a people person. But in addition to working with people, because I come from a background, again, in healthcare of my mom, I knew I didn't want to touch people necessarily. And my mom, when I finished high school, she was like, I think you'll be a great nurse because you know how to talk to people. And like at a young age, she knew I had something. She's like, I think you'll be a great nurse. I'm like, that sounds nice. And I love the nurses, love to the nurses. Okay. But I knew pharmacy was what I wanted to do, and I'm still doing it.
You know, I love your mom, how she let you have that freedom in making those choices, because in my generation, we did have a tendency to want our children to do things. I want you to do this, because it might have been a lot of our dreams that we had, but you have freedom in making your own decisions.
I think in some point of view, it became whatever whatever you're interested in, and you feel passionate about that. Okay, as long as you're doing something and it's positive and it's productive. My mother believed in productivity. You was going to do something productive. Oh yes.
You weren't going to be in
there was no idle time
reading about pharmacy all day.
You was going to do something productive.
Put your hands to the plow.
I found a way to be productive.
So how has being a pharmacy technician led you into education?
By opportunity. So prior to becoming in education in pharmacy, I was in the pharmacy industry for, I would say, about 10 years. 10 or 11 years. And along the way in being in pharmacy, I had always been kind of encouraged. I think you'll be a great teacher. Because all of my pharmacy career, I've been a trainer. I've been in management. I've done something on a supervisor level of teaching others. Developing. I love that. And so, again, the encouragement was there, but the opportunity came at around year 11 in pharmacy, and a position was opening for a college. And they needed someone to teach the night program. The person, going back to connections, the person who told me about the position was actually my the pharmacy program director when I was in college. And so we had always stayed in contact. And he was like, I think it'll be great for I think you'll be great as a teacher.
Teach.
And my teacher who taught me college was encouraging it too. And she was like, Z, I think you'll be great. You'll love it. I was like, okay, I'll try it out because it was part-time. You know, it can't hurt anything.
It's a little scary, you know, to venture out into that. I mean, it's very different. And you're making, so somebody made a mark on you, right, to speak that into your life. Who was that person? Do you remember who that was? Who said that to you? Why don't you think about teaching?
The educator who taught me pharmacy,
really?
Ms. Brown. Mm-hmm.
Really?
She said, I think you'll be great as a teacher.
This is an odd question.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to say the name, but were you discouraged in doing what you do? Because, I mean, sometimes you can be discouraged, whether it's by an educator or by someone you're working with, to say, did I pick the right field?
I can't say that I have.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Life has a way of presenting itself in different forms and through different people.
Yes.
People will share information with you, and you have a decision to make. You know, is this something I should do? Something I should be interested in? Teaching, as again, it was encouraged to me, but when the opportunity, there is now a position open.
A whole position.
I think you should apply.
Yes.
I took the leap of faith and I said, okay. I told my sister about it, and she's like, I think you'll be great. I think you'll be great.
Yes.
And then it's like, but am I qualified? There goes that. Sometimes when we get ready to go into new positions, we start taking our own inventory. Am I qualified to do it? Do I have the title to do it? And it's like, you already do it.
You already do it.
You already do it. So go do it for real.
And you know, people who you train and develop, they never forget you.
Yeah.
They never forget your name. They never forget your face, because you were a big part of them starting their new career.
Yeah.
And so I love that about you, because I know that the people that train me in dental, so many, I can't remember their names, so many of the bad managers, I don't want to remember their names, but the ones who helped to develop me, I will never forget them.
You can't.
I'm so indebted to them, you know. So.
And even as being an educator, I've had students come back to me. I had a student a couple weeks ago. It's like the most, it's the most exhilarating feeling.
Yes,
it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
For someone to say, hey, everything you taught me, I know you were strict, because I have a good time.
Yes.
But when I say get the lesson, as my grandmother would say, we get the lesson.
We get the lesson.
We're here to learn.
Yes.
We're here to have a good time. We're here to learn.
Yes.
And so they were like, Mrs. Reddy-Christian, everything you taught us, from the professionalism to the skill.
Yes.
I'm doing everything you said, and now I'm a manager at one of the major corporations in pharmacy. And I'm like,
and you know, you just said something
excited
there, because you're not just doing the education piece, you're teaching them professionalism. That's not in the book. That's not in the book. So we need to get you well-rounded, so we know you're going to be secure in what you're going to be doing in this profession.
Dealing with people, believe it or not, is an art. Yes. Communication is a skill. It's an art in itself. Yes. People go to school for college and they're a communications major. Yes. You're learning how to speak with people. Yes. And one thing that I would share with anyone is sometimes the best teacher in life is experience. Yes. You learn how to talk to people on an everyday. Yes. You learn how to develop the relationships, whether you are married, whether you're a sibling, whether you work somewhere, you're developing relationships on a constant. How are your communication skills right now? Take some inventory. Like, are you a good communicator? Do people have to guess what you're thinking or what you're feeling? Are you just walking around the room with your energy and no one knows? I don't even know why she's mad, but I can tell something's going on. Yeah. Like, don't be that person. So I've learned over time, and I can really credit my sister for sharing with me how to get out of my feelings. I keep using that word because a lot of us are in feelings, and those feelings will hold you captive and will keep you stagnant because you feel a certain way. You got to get past that and learn how to talk about it and elevate so that you can get to the next level. Absolutely. And so that's what communications, I believe, is important, and that's the skill that I teach.
I love that. So what's your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration, I will say my biggest inspiration is a 3-part. So first, I'm inspired by hope. Okay. Think of an ant. Okay. Everyone sees an ant. You see the ant can carry a leaf. Ooh. And you would think, how can the ant carry something twice as big as what it is? Yeah. It's the hope. I'm inspired by hope. Mm-hmm. There's like the underdog. You watch a movie and he was like, they thought they counted him out. But he made a comeback. I love that. I love that. I'm inspired by inspiration, but by hope. Yeah. The second point, I'm inspired by my family. I come from a long line of strong, courageous women. Wow. You said strength.
I did because that's what you exude.
You said strength. My grandmother, my mother, my sister, strong women. Wow. People who have gone through things and overcome battles, frustrations. Yeah. a lot of things that I haven't even gone through.
Yeah.
But just to see their perseverance and them be on the other side and look as youthful as ever. You know how my mom looks.
I'm telling you. I'm
Okay?
telling you.
Youthful
What
as
a
ever.
blessing. Yes. Because the job that she did, I mean, that's a very tactful job on your body and stuff. So I do know that.
And so just to see how they took care of themselves, I come from strong lineage.
Yes.
And so that's an inspiration. I want to be like that.
Yes.
They know how to be strong, but there's also poise and grace in their strength.
Yes.
And I think that's a lot of things that in today's time, believe it or not, we've kind of gotten away from.
Yeah.
We know that there's strength, but we have to still operate as women in our femininity.
Yes.
And keep the grace.
It doesn't have
and
to be
poise.
that masculinity
It doesn't have to
or
be
that
just to be
anger
strong
with it, right? Because I know we used to fight for our positions, but now finding a way to do it with grace, like you said, it's that grace.
Yeah. So coming from that strong lineage is an inspiration, and then just self-motivation.
Yeah.
You know, developing belief of self. I think I can. I know I can. Therefore, I can.
Yes.
And just knowing that. So
because
I grew up with affirmations.
With your students, you want them to do it on their own, right? They can't depend on you to get them there. Well, it's your fault that I failed this test. No, it's not.
And I share with them firsthand, especially because in pharmacy there's a lot of math. The very first thing that I share with them before we even get into math, into pharmaceutical formulas, I said, let's build some confidence.
Yes.
What's 1 + 1? They're like 2. I said, see how you said that? With just a shrug of a shoulder. And like, you said that because you know it. Believe it or not, if you keep practicing, you're going to get it.
Yes.
So I tell anyone, you know how people say practice equals perfect?
Yeah.
So with self-motivation, it's so important that you develop a sense of self.
Yes.
Whatever that looks like for you. If that needs to be affirmations, put some affirmations around you.
Yes.
If you're unsure where to start with that, we are in a world where there are so many resources.
Yes.
We do not have to reinvent the wheel, as my dad would say. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just need to be intentional.
That's
so
right.
if that means you need to look up what are some affirmations and you start seeing what means something to you, then that's what you can do. You can look that up on Instagram, Facebook.
Yes.
You can Google. Google is our friend, people. We got to use our resources.
Google, everybody.
Self-motivation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Google. And I love Google because years ago we had to go to the library, find what we wanted, and I mean you guys have it at the click of a button right now.
It is, but as much as we have it at the click of a button, as a high school educator, I will be the first to tell you, people are still not using their everyday resources.
Oh my gosh.
So we have to use the things that are available to us.
Yeah.
And I say that without sarcasm. Like we really, as much as the World Wide Web is at our fingertips, we're still not using it to our fullest advantage.
Absolutely.
How many people are sitting on an idea right now? Sitting on it. And you're like, I don't know where to get started. Did you ever Google where to get started? You know what? Let's stop talking about let's put a comma there.
I love
Not
that.
just Google. Did you use AI to find out how can I, and then fill in the blank?
I love
Have
that.
you tried it? Chat GPT is a friend as well.
Yes.
Copilot is a friend as well. These are just some AI. These are just some AI resources. We have to use it to our benefit.
I think that for me, Zipporah, I think that what it is that I feel like I'm cheating.
You're not cheating. It's a tool.
Okay, because
It's a
I feel like
tool.
I'm cheating because I'm so used to delving into stuff and going to get multiple books and
It's a
all
tool.
that.
It's a tool, and I say that because I just realized I know it's a tool, but I'm really giving myself permission to see, to research, because it's a research component. You're finding information. You're not cheating.
Yes.
You're finding out the information that it is you want to know. Now, it's when you take it word for word. Let's say you say, I want to create a business, and you take every single thing that it said. Now, that's not organic.
You got to put your own
You have to put your
fingerprint.
own thing to it. But if you need an outline, like I like an idea.
Yes.
I use AI for an idea, and I teach my students to do the same thing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to try to figure out, man, this is so hard, I don't know where to start. There are resources we can use to find out where should we start.
Yeah. Well, I don't feel so bad now
It's a
because
tool.
I've been wanting to do the Chat GPT
Please
and
do.
the whole AI, and I've
It's a
been
tool.
avoiding it.
It's a tool. I use, when I'm thinking of an idea for one of my businesses, or if there's a plan, a professional development plan, based on the person who I'm assisting, based on their background, I use it as a tool to ask AI, what type of learning styles could someone who has dyslexia, how can I help them with their professional development? So again, it's giving me some examples, but I have to use my my own self knowledge of what I know, because based on your industry, you're the expert in the room.
That's right.
You can use it as a tool. So I'm just using it as an outline.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a tool.
I want to start using it, guys. So what do you most enjoy about being a woman empowerment speaker?
Oh, I love women empowerment. But what I most enjoy about being a woman empowerment speaker is the opportunity to empower women based on the empowerment that was given to me.
Oh,
my first empowerment came from, again, my lineage, my grandmother, my mom, my sister. And then my community started to expand. Teachers, while in college, colleagues, as I continue in the career, there are elements that can build towards our gift. And being a woman empowerment speaker is a part of my gift. My gift is speaking. I know God has put something inside of me as a gift that if I'm sharing information with someone else, there is sometimes where I'm in so much alignment. I don't even know what the other person is going through, but there's a message that I'm given that I share. And they say that was meant just directly for me. You don't know what season I'm in, and what you said has unlocked something. That's why I gave you the example of sometimes we are a key, and other people who we're talking to, they're a lock. And we have the key to unlock their doors of information, of understanding something. So being a woman empowerment speaker allows me to be what others have been to me. And I'm really just paying it forward.
And you know, I love that because she's not keeping it to herself, right?
I am not a gatekeeper.
I know, because so many people, you know, we get information. I can't share this. I got to keep this to myself. But I get excited for what other people are doing, and I get excited with helping them to start that process. And empowering them when they're in that place of they have no idea where to start, or they have an idea and they want enhancement, and you know, but like you said, if that time and space allows for it, that empowerment, you know, is going to reach.
Absolutely. And that's even where I've developed as a consultant, as a professional and personal development consulting. Someone is sharing with me, especially when it comes to the vision board and their vision. Our visions are so sacred.
They're very sacred.
And we're so vulnerable when we share an idea. This is my thought. I want to create, and then they share with me what they want to create. And sometimes they feel this self-doubt. And I'm there to empower and say, listen, first you have to know you're already doing what it is you say you want to do. And even if there's an arena that they say they want to get into, I start using the proximity principle. You have to start getting around the people who are doing that what you want to do. So what you want to do is attainable. It's not impossible. How did I become speaking? I've spoken for pharmacy organizations. So I've always been a speaker in some sort of another, but when I started getting paid for speaking and started to develop my portfolio, I first started in pharmacy. And it started in proximity because I saw a person who looked just like me teaching a pharmacy conference. And I was like, I'm in amazement. And I'm like, oh, you wait till the end of the seminar ends. And I'm that person, if there's a conference or a seminar, I'm waiting to the end till the speaker finishes. And while everybody is packing up to go, I'm talking to the person who is up speaking. I have questions. This was amazing. I always, give them their accolades and their praise of how appreciative I am of the information that has been shared. But my next question, my follow-up is usually, how would I get into this? Because I'm interested in sharing information that I have. And I love people. You said I'm not a gatekeeper. I love people who share information and resources with me. Please share. Sharing is caring. They're not just saying that on Barney. Sharing really is caring. But I've had people who have been so intentional and inspiring to me to share information so that I can continue to develop in the level that I want to.
And when they do that, they're taking time for us. Right? And
making space.
The time is for you, and for us. So, people are sharing with us and us sharing with them. It's our time and our energy and our love for what we do and our passion for what we do. We want to see other people there. So
we want to see you win.
What's your advice on achieving goals?
My advice on achieving goals, two things. Be intentional and self-determination. If you do not have the intention to set out to achieve the goal that you want, it's not going to happen. Yes. I said at the beginning of this podcast, as a man thinketh in his heart, mind, soul, so is he. It's really the same thing. If you don't have the intention to do what it is that you want to do, it's your goal. It's nobody else's. It's what you want to do. Exactly. Self-determination. Do you believe you can do it? Sometimes we battle this self-doubt. I don't know if I can. Yeah. I call it the Eeyore spirit. Am I good enough? We have to sometimes shake that. Yeah. And sometimes we are our own worst critics. And I'm speaking from experience. Yes. There have been things that I said, I want to do it, but I don't know. Am I qualified enough? Do I have what it takes? And I've had, again, there goes back that village. I've had a village to remind me when I am feeling some type of way, myself to remind me, no, you're already doing what it is you're interested in. You were born to do it. You're just trying to develop it more.
You were born to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to circle back to, because you mentioned your village earlier, and I was like, but then you answered the question for me, because I was like, what?
Hey, did you enjoy today's episode with Zipporah Reddy-Christian? Well, you don't want to miss episode number 2. Listen, she's also doing a giveaway. For the first person that reaches out to her on her platforms, you stand a chance to win a complimentary 30-minute session, professional development service called Pro Growth Pathway. Wow. Listen, good luck. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Until next time.